Well, hello. It's been a while.
Hello.
And today we have the beautiful Miss Juleen Moreno. And I'm sorry, did I pronounce your last name correct?
Girl, it's Walker now.
I'm okay, because girl. I love it. And she is the beautiful host of It Goes Down in the PM.
Now, so you know, blushing.
I love your podcast because I love the format of it. I love the realness of it, you know, and the authenticity of it. I love it. It's just is dope. It is. I wish that there were more podcasters, more people like you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I really do. I don't think that we're gonna get into this a little bit more in just a second, but yeah, I really, really, really wish that there were more women like you. I really do.
Hard same. I've been following your IG for a while. I've been listening to you. I was like, babe, see, this is like I told you about look. And I couldn't even believe it when my husband was like, yo, I tagged you in a post. You guys can connect. I was like, get the fuck out of here. No, you didn't. You didn't.
And see, that is because I remember because when he tagged me in that post, I hadn't really been on the scene for very long, and I was getting a little discouraged because if you ain't out here shucking and jiving and jiggling and twerking, you know what I'm saying, you're not getting as much attention as some of the other podcasters, and I was coming with a whole nother spin and perspective on things. And so when your husband tagged me in a post, it was about being a man's piece. And he said that you watched my show, and he said that you are his piece. And I made sure to tell you, and I had never spoken to you, but I made sure to tell him to tell you that I said thank you for being his piece. Because it is really, 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 really rare that you will find a woman nowadays, specifically a woman of color, that will want to be her man's piece, especially a black man. And that is really what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, tell us about you.
Okay. I am the CEO of Mom Is Always Right Media. I started, like, you know what I said, the cliche, I started from the bottom. I actually came here to California in 2018 from New Haven. They called my hood Pistol Wave in New Haven, the Hill. And, you know, I was never supposed to make it out of there. But, you know, one of my son's classmates were shot by the police down, like, at a park. Like, I had a front row seat to the whole thing. From my second floor window, I could see the park, and I watched it all go down. And this kid stopped by my house, and my son failed a math test. I said, oh no, David's not going nowhere. He failed the math test. He's staying home. And like, he was playing with a Nerf gun, and the police rolled up on him. And I was like, oh no, I gotta go. I gotta go. I'm tired. I'm tired. Every other day, I see they hospitalized this young girl because she stopped at Starbucks. She was trying to catch the city bus to school, but she was late, and they beat the unholy hell out of her for being truant. Yes. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm so tired of this. They'll do the job when they're supposed to, and then when they do something, they're taking children away from women out here, leaving mothers crying and stuff. And I said, no, I'll never wake up and have that call. My kids are going to be raised. They're not going to simply grow up. And I moved.
Well, that was a good thing. I'm glad that you and your family are in a safer position, at least from the cops. You know, it still is an ongoing situation of I don't even know what it if it's primarily racism. But you got black. I think with the police situation, I think that they are hiring a lot of people that just have no life experience.
Well, when I was in the military, they like every other day was training, arms training, weapons handling training. Every other day, these police get 1 8-hour day of training every 2 years. So, and then people want to defund them, but when you defund the police, they got less money for training. You know what I mean? So it's like, but other than that, like I came here, I used to work 15-hour days. When I tell you my kids, because the cost of living in California was the biggest shock to me moving here.
Wow.
So I was putting in that work. I was like, I'll get up, be at work 6 o'clock in the morning. You will not see my face until like 9, 10 o'clock. And then, I was never home. And I met my husband. We started dating, and I got hit by a drunk driver, and I couldn't do that work anymore. I couldn't drive. There was a lot of things I couldn't do. In fact, my leg, I was in so much pain the next day, and my legs went numb. And my husband actually picked me up and toileted me, and we had only been dating a year.
Oh, you know what? And that is why because we spoke a little bit the other day. That's why I was like, you know what? We got the collab on this.
Definitely.
Because, I don't even know if you want to talk about the so we will be considered pick-me's.
Oh my. And let me tell you, the people who call us that would be considered haters.
That is because they don't have a man. Now, I am single by choice. It is not because I cannot get a man. It's not because I can't keep a man. Is I just know that there are some things that I have to work on with me, and I have to heal, because I cannot go to a man and I have damage done to me. Like, that is not fair to him.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. I don't even know where do you want to start? This is such a huge thing.
Well, I think let's start with the idea of, yes, I catch a lot of hell from feminists, because my podcast is a female empowerment, women of color, rise up, let's hold it, let's support each other. So I always catch hell like, oh, you call yourself a feminist? What's the matter with your man's hands? Why can't he make his own food? Why can't he clean his own damn dishes or house or whatever? And all I'm hearing is like, when I left the hood, a lot of people said, you forgot where you came from. Oh, you a college girl. You too good to hang with us. When all I wanted to do was get an education where I didn't have to worry about getting shot or whatever. So when I hear women say, oh, you call yourself a feminist, that's not on brand for you. What's wrong with your man's hands? Or what? All I'm hearing is someone telling me, you just don't know. Like, you just don't get how we get down. You see, right. My husband is a good man. And I want to start there. Who are we doing this for? You know what I mean? Imagine I watched so many women do the most for ain't shit dudes. And then, I remember you talking about women who stay after the man has cheated. Like, I don't go that far. I'm not the type to let him cheat in peace. I'm the type to leave, and he will never be at peace. Because no matter what, if I leave him, he will always be comparing the next chick to me. period. So no matter what I do to him, it will never be as bad as leaving.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, because even with that, I have a different perspective. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Sister Shahrazad Ali, but she is a author, and she came out with a series of books, and one of them, in particular, is The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Now, I started learning and re-educating myself over the years with looking at the problems that are going on within the Black community, trying to pinpoint some type of starting point. I'm getting really, really close. The Black women of color, period, majority were not raised to be a wife. We were raised to be strong, independent women, right? And it's only women of color that was raised like that. And that is so we think we don't need a man for anything. Now I'm gonna tell you, all men cheat. All men cheat. They do. Because men would not, the whole thing, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You know what I'm saying? But a man that has his peace is never, ever, ever. You was absolutely correct. He mess around, do the wrong thing, and have to, you know what I'm saying, mess around and lose you. There is going to be a problem. He is not going to find that anywhere else. That your energy can never be replaced. You provide that man with what he needs to be able to go out, because you provide him with what he needs to be able to go out and conquer the world. What you just spoke of earlier about the police and the killings and the all of that stuff, that is stuff that Black men go through every single time they step out the door.
Yes. That's my husband, I got 2 sons going out there and facing the world. Now I'll be honest, one of them is like not as dark as the other. So, you know, the darker skinned one has the most problems. And I knew this when he was like 8, and I handed him a $10 bill in a Barnes and Noble. And, you know, I had his sister with me, and I'm rifling through books, and he's going through, and an overzealous security guard snatched up my child. I put my baby in the carriage, and I was ready to fight. I said, you better get your hands off my son, or it's gonna be a problem. And she accused him of stealing. When like shoplifting. And I said, there's nothing. They said, I saw him put something in his pocket. Of course I was like, you know, I'm not gonna put anything past my child, because I already know sometimes kids do crazy things. So I said, turn out your pockets. He turned out his pockets. I said, there isn't shit in there but the money I gave him to pay for the book. So I'm gonna need to see your manager right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's always stuff like that. And that's what I already know. When my kids come home, when my husband comes home, home needs to be somewhere safe for them to regroup, get themselves together, gather their strength, and then get up and leave the house the next day.
And that is why, because that is so very important. That's why I told your husband, I had never heard of you, didn't know anything about you. I didn't even know people was really paying attention to me. That was why I said, tell her, I said, thank you. I am a strong advocate for the Black community. I am. And we don't understand, like we are at the bottom of the Mohicans. We are not even considered, I think it's 3/5 of a human. We're not even considered, and this is in the U.S. Constitution right now. We are not even considered a whole human.
The constitutional compromise came up with by a representative from Connecticut. That's where New Haven is. And in order to get the Constitution ratified, he said, because the South wanted more votes, more representation in the House, in order to get all their slavery stuff passed and, have their way of life not be messed with. So they said, okay, well, all these slaves count as people, and so that they can get more representation. And of course, the North was like, no, absolutely not. Either they're people or they're not people. So the Constitution was almost not passed. But they said, okay, so the slaves count as 3/5 of a person. And that's how they came up with the math for how many representatives in the House of Representatives each slave state got. And that's the original sin of the Constitution.
And that is why to this day the divide between the consequences and repercussions that Black people go through versus the people of color, but specifically Black people versus white people. Like what was it, Mitch O'Connell the other day said that oh yeah, Africans Americans they vote as much as Americans. You idiot, you a whole idiot. Like okay, like that's one of those things. I know all his people like, man, what the hell wrong with him?
Oh, I know there is a publicist out there like, this motherfucker. Why? Yeah. No. Are you still? Of course you did.
Yes. Yeah. Just
his poor publicist.
Yeah. He probably quit. I don't think they can do much damage control with that. But he didn't do anything but he told the truth. He told their honest opinion. He told what they really think about people of color, which is why when it seems like the whole world is against us, why don't we stand united?
Well, I will say, I feel like a lot of the divide within the Black community comes from colorism. Slave culture taught us to value light-skinned people. The light-skinned image, that's slave culture. That's not our culture. And then also, there's also like, for me, like my children would be accepted as Black American. Me as Black Indigenous from Philippines and Spanish, oh no, you don't get to talk on Black issues, because according to a lot of people, my Black experience is not the same as the Black American Black experience. Now, my people didn't arrive here the same way. It's true. But we all here now, and we all face, like, my kids are just as much at risk walking down the street as yours is. So we need to just close that gap.
That is, and that is something that we as Black people gonna have to realize, that it doesn't matter. We all got a little mixture of stuff in us. You know what I'm saying? All blended up in that melanin package. You know what I'm saying? But it was designed. Colorism is a thing that they brought into existence. I don't know if you're familiar with the Willie Lynch letter, girl. I've been learning for the past couple of years. I am so sick and tired of the BS going on in the Black community. I started educating myself on a regular basis. So I discovered the Willie Lynch letter. In the Willie Lynch letter, and if y'all aren't familiar with that, the Willie Lynch letter was a letter, and it's called the Willie Lynch letter, How to Make the Perfect Slave. Okay, and they try to say that it was a hoax, that it wasn't real. If you read that letter, this was a letter they went to a plantation owner in the West Indies. They brought him over to, I know it was South Carolina. I'm not really sure about what city it was, but it was probably Charleston, somewhere along that. And he had the most successful plantation that they had seen. He had no problem with his slaves. And what he did was he separated them. One of the things was by color. Put the light-skinned slaves in the house, put the dark-skinned slaves in the field and make one feel like the other one, because the light-skinned ones had some of their DNA anyway. And so over the years, they were manipulated into thinking that they were more valued than the darker skinned slaves that were in the field, when they don't realize that that was designed to pit us against each other. Even with the women of color not knowing how to be their man's piece. These women back in the days, they did all kinds of stuff. Girl, I could go on for hours with how we don't understand. We've been manipulated constantly for hundreds of years. You know, they took the black man out of the home when they introduced welfare. They made us think we didn't need our men, and because we feel like they are worthless. And even with the men that you were talking about, the ain't shit men, right? Even them, a lot of them have. I'm such an advocate. Like, I don't want to just go at anybody. And I'm sorry if I'm talking too much. Just jump in anytime, girl.
The conversation is a two-way thing. I hear what you're saying. I learned something too, you know, and I agree. The colorism it's not something we created.
No,
that I would like to include that in the whole package of generational trauma.
Yes, we and that is exactly what it is. It is generational trauma. You got men that I don't care what nobody says. We as women are awesome. We are capable of many, many things, but we are not capable of raising a boy to be a man, because we don't know what it's like to be a man. We don't even have those genetic codes up in us. We know how to be women. And so the black woman, because the black man was we saw the black man emasculated in front of us. They took his job, they beat him, they raped us in front of him, and he couldn't help us. All of this stuff happened then. And so the black woman started thinking, oh, I can't depend on him for anything. I should probably, go and do this myself, and I can do this myself. So then the black woman started teaching her daughter. The woman of color started teaching her daughter that, well, you don't need your daddy, and we can do it. And this is how the axis turned. So that what you were saying about the women that are looking at you like, why are you fixing that man food, and he can fix his own food, what's wrong with his hands? That is the result of that.
Yeah. And I'll tell you it's true. Women, we teach this to our daughters. I remember my dad, my biological father, right? Mm-hmm. He was a so-called ain't shit dude. That's why I'm comfortable saying ain't shit dude. Get your life, know. But it takes losing a woman like us for them to realize, maybe I should get myself together. My bio dad, I was young. My mom was about to go to work. My bio dad was burnt out on the couch, and I said, "Mom, can you make me a sandwich before you go?" She said, "Go make it yourself. You know how to make it." And I was like, she said, or you could ask your dad. So I asked my dad. Now he said, "Yeah, just go sit at the table and wait for me to make your food." So I sat there, I wait, he sleep. I done tore up the house, messed in some books, drew some pictures. I'm so hungry by the time my mother does a full 8-hour shift. I'm like 5 or 6 years old, and I'm like, mom walks in, and I just start to cry because I realized I haven't eaten all day. And she said, "Didn't I tell you to go and make it yourself?" I said, "But you also said that, I could ask my dad." She's like, "Let this be a lesson to you. You wait for a man to feed you, you'll starve." And then she's like, "Now go make your sandwich." It's a generational thing. This is what we're generational.
It is at the point where we as women a lot of times don't really know what our role is supposed to be. You know, and so let me ask you this: what is being submissive? Because I don't think a lot of people know what that is. So in your opinion, what does it take for a woman to be submissive? Like, is it walking around, yes, a master, whatever you want, big daddy? Like, what is being submissive to you?
Being submissive, in my opinion, is trusting your partner to relinquish control. Now, I'm as bad as I want to be. I'm the CEO of my own company. I write and produce multiple shows. Oh, I could. But you know what? My man gets up. He goes to work. He goes to work. He provides for me. He pays all my bills so I can pursue my dreams. You know what? So I trust him to know that he'll never leave me out in the cold. He'll never treat me wrong. He'll never rub it in my face like, oh, look at what I do for you. It's so because he treats me like a queen, guess what? He comes home, house clean, kids in bed, dinner's ready. You know, I'll fold his clothes, wash his clothes, fold them, put them in the closet, hang them up, make sure he has lunch. Lately, he hasn't been asking for lunch, but if he wanted lunch, like, it's there. And because I trust him, submission really is like a reciprocation. If your man treats you like a queen, why wouldn't you treat him like a king? Why not?
That is true. And he is doing every single thing that he's supposed to do as a man. Now that raises the question. I have not trying to get in your business, but was his father in his life as well? Because I have some theories about that.
His stepfather raised him.
Okay.
But his dad, even though, you know, his dad had to leave him for a bit, his dad always made sure, he said, listen, no matter where you go, remember, I'm always your father.
Oh, okay. So he had two. Okay, so he is a blessing, and you are his blessing. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of women walking around here just walking past their blessings because their blessings are they don't come in that package. And what I know is the same thing we were talking about with the women that they have been teaching their daughters, and their daughters were teaching their daughters, and so on and so forth. These are also women that's been teaching their sons, and so on and so forth. So it's like women will push their daughters out there to be strong and independent, but will pull their sons in because they're afraid and they don't want, because of the stuff that we've been through, that our men have been through. So Black women are afraid. So the ain't shit men are most likely, the ain't shit men are most likely a product of that, if that makes sense. So I think that some women, the women that especially the bitter ones, that call the other women all this other stuff, is because they've been through.
Pick me. They call us pick-me's.
Yes, they call us pick-me's and everything else, and it's because they are walking around this damaged man. It's like it's victim blaming victim. She's damaged. He's damaged.
People.
Yes.
Hurt people, which is why, like, I am so happy that when you said you needed to work on yourselves, that you're taking some time. Before I met my husband, I wasn't like this. I was coming out of a divorce, a 6-year relationship in which there was abuse, mental and financial, emotional. I was looking at myself crazy. Like, I'm doing all this stuff. What's wrong with me? So when I came out of that relationship, girl, let me tell you, I went to therapy. And there is nothing wrong with that. I highly recommend everybody go to therapy, because we all get to about my age. I'm 35. I'm 35. And we don't get to this age without having some type of baggage. There's a reason
Yes.
why they say we don't live past 18, and if we make it out the hood, we got baggage.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm glad you spoke about therapy, because that's one thing within the Black community that is unheard of. They would rather you say, "Hey man, look, let's go swim in toxic waste with no drawers on," and Black people would rather do that than go and seek therapy, to go and talk to somebody about their problems. And it's because we don't normalize depression and mental health issues.
Well, see, that's why my brand, like when my son was diagnosed with autism, I felt like we need to talk about this. Why are we acting like it's a big old secret? Mental illness exists. You see it all around you, especially with the veterans. You know, veterans, people of color that serve the military are more likely to kill themselves than any other veteran coming out of there, because not only is it like pulling teeth to get the VA to treat you, but also you got to deal with the stigma of your community. So a Black veteran is more likely to start a pistol than go get help, because like my old mama told me, "Oh well, you're safe now. You're not at war. You're not deployed anymore. You're safe. So it's time to move forward. You got to move forward." It's not like that.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you what that is. That is, Black people are people of color. We're supposed to be the strongest people on the face of this earth. We, especially specifically Black women of color, we supposed to be the super strong people. And I know I keep saying, and I know you have more than just Black, but you Black, baby. You all that. We all, yeah, you family. You know what I'm saying? So Black women, when they call us strong women, that is an insult. Mm-hmm. That is an insult. There's no other race of women out there, one, that's treating their men the way we treat our men.
No.
And it's more and more and more ain't shit dudes, because there are so many women that ain't shit too.
Yep. And check this out. Your sons are watching you treat these men this way. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna get a girl just like you, and then you have the pleasure of watching some hood booger treat your son like this.
Yes.
Because you're treating them like this.
This you know what I call I call this generation that's in now, I call them I know they're Gen Z, I call them Zoolanders. They are a bunch of idiots. Like it just have you listened to some of the music? Like, I am afraid for these young men coming up and trying to have a woman nowadays, because
look, first of all, like I rebuke that spirit of garbage music that's coming out there. I rebuke it. I grew up on Big Pun, Notorious Big, Wu-Tang Clan, Rakim. Whatever this is, it just needs to go on and go, pass through and go.
I agree. I now, some of it, not all of it's trash, some of it's good, but a vast majority of it is just recycled stuff from the 80s and 90s, and 90s R&B was my genre, like and it's still
like 90s, you remember?
Yes.
You got the Escape, take off your shoes and relax your feet. See, that's where we're coming from. yes we are those. Like, I am all about the cater to you. Like I saw the I don't even know what to call them, they're not the pick me's, the not us. I don't know what to call them, but I'm gonna call them the not us. So the not us community, they didn't like the whole cater to you
song. Like all these years later, like these stinking healthers wanted to cancel the Cater to You song. That's why your ass ain't got no man now.
I did a whole ass episode like that. I did an episode on that.
I'm gonna have to go back and check that.
Girl, it's called Why Are We Canceling Beyonce?
Like, it don't make no sense. And I know the Beehive shut that down quickly.
Girl, I was like, why are you canceling Destiny's Child for telling you to reciprocate to your man? You should be mad at her for getting y'all to kick your man out the house and then going home to her man after collecting the money from the show she just did.
Crazy. Now I'm gonna tell you
to all the single ladies, if you like it, should have put a ring on it. Put a ring on it. So you go home, kick your man out the house. You know who she went home to? Jay-Z.
Of course. She went home immediately.
Straight home to her husband.
He had dinner ready.
You don't like her out late.
Right. And the thing is these will understand.
Are you there?
I think I did something. Hold on. Let me go for y'all. Huh? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I can't hear you though.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh no.
Let me see. I did something.
I heard like the plug. Maybe it's your earphones.
No, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, all right. We're back at it, y'all. Yeah. We are uncut, unprofessional pick-me's.
Shit, yo.
I can't believe that I get to pick. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why do women feel like men don't have feelings?
Again, that is, and I'm sorry, people might cancel me, but that is a lie that the white man told us a long time ago. Though when they were separating us. Not only that, like, this is a conditioning thing. Even when I call it slave culture, because this is the culture that we have carried over from the plantation into our homes, that no matter who's in our household, because at any given time we can be split apart through being sold or whatever. So we said, okay, well, we just got to keep our family together no matter what. We got to hold it down. It's gonna be on us no matter what. Mm-hmm. But then look at what happened through the years, right? In the 50s, Black communities and Black families were strong. Even though they were poor, they were in their own separate communities. Then you got redlining, but there was home ownership, Black home ownership. I mean, again, with the redlining, the areas were garbage, but you know what? We watched each other. If I lived in the 50s and I do some fuck shit, I'm liable to catch an ass whooping from my neighbor. And then she's going to tell my mom, and I'm going to catch an ass whooping from my mama too. Because, it took a village. Now, look at the 60s, 70s, and 80s. More music is telling, women, you don't need this mess. I can do bad by my damn self. This is the rise of I can do bad by my damn self. But you know what? Our people might have wrote those lyrics, but look at who was signing the checks. And I'm not talking about the companies that are Black owned. I'm talking about the larger companies like Sony and Universal that cut the check to these music industries to glamorize this lifestyle and this ideal that men don't need to be in the homes. It's glamorous to be in the streets. It's glamorous to have a baby mother and not a wife. It's glamorous to sell drugs. These when the realest music I love to listen to is the one that says, yeah, I made all this money, but look, I just buried my boy the other day. It's just realness, not this money, hoes, and clothes, and then there's nothing else. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
else. There's no rawness, no realness, no where it started from. You know why? Because who's signing those checks? The white man is signing those checks,
Mm-hmm.
telling us this is what our family situation should look like. And it's separating us.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as music goes, Tupac, they had to take Tupac out. Tupac was trying to he had too much power within the black community. And he I watched some of his older interviews and some older footage of Tupac when he was actually talking about organizing, gathering other rappers and music and entertainers and stuff, and everybody put their money together and they go to different hoods and they host different projects, or they you know what I'm saying, like they get with the drug dealers. Look, man, from because they understood that the needs that the white man had in their back. So he wasn't telling the drug dealers, hey, look, don't sell drugs at all. But from these hours, none of them, ain't nobody on the street, because the kids out there on the street, the kids don't need to see that. They had to take Tupac out. He was way too positive.
Yeah, the Thug Life Code said, don't sell the pregnant women, don't sell the children. The fact that this man spoke once and talked about this and was able to get rival gangs and people together, he had to go.
Mm-hmm. They had to, but you got YNW Melly and I'm not gonna say the baby. It's quite a babies out there. The baby, D baby, Lil Baby, So Baby. It's a bunch of babies out there. I can't really differentiate between their music. It's kind of sort of the same. I'm not gonna say it's all the same, but the vast majority is real similar.
Man, if the baby, I did a show where I talked about his appearance at Rolling Loud, and he's like, if you ain't out here sucking dick, this, that, third. And I was laughing. I said, what's wrong with sucking dick, man? What if I like sucking dick? Damn. But I listened to his music, and honestly, I felt like yelling at my radio, yo, stop crying before I give you something to cry about.
Right.
It was whiny.
Yeah. But that's the generation that I'm not gonna take a boom on all the music, but quite a bit of it is like that.
I mean, for J. Cole though, J. Cole.
You like J. Cole?
All his Kendrick Lamar, he's fire.
Mm-hmm.
Joyner Lucas is so underrated, but Tory Lanez, I mean, he's problematic in his own way. I'm gonna say that, but I mean, Tory Lanez did him a solid when he was like, okay, I'm gonna give you a shot, I'm gonna battle you. No one did that for me. Tory Lanez been in the game for like 40 years or something. Like, he's been in the game forever. Yeah. So, Joyner Lucas was young and hungry, and he took him and he was like, let's do this. We need to see more of that. That rawness, that realness. It's a lot. But then, look who's making millions in the industry right now. You want to talk about women not valuing certain things. I mean, Beyonce is an anomaly. Let's just be honest. She's left over from our generation. We claim her. Y'all can't have her.
Mm-hmm. Right?
But then you got Cardi B making money. And again, I'm not going to sit here and shit on her, because look, that is an Afro-Latina artist doing her thing and representing. And there was a long time where Latina artists and Latino artists, or Latinx artists, I'm going to say Latino or Latina, and if I offend you, I'll apologize. But
there you good.
I will refer to you however you prefer to be referred to. But Latino and Latina artists, for a long time, couldn't get any type of radio play. You know, before Selena, they shit all over us because they're like, oh no, they were not messing with us before Selena. So, you know, I'm not about to sit here and Cardi B, because I mean, let's just be honest. I was bumping WAP and up, and it's up and it's up and it's up. But if you want to know why women don't value being in the house or taking care of their home or their man, I mean, look no further than what you hear and see all around you.
Tell you, for those type of artists, because you had the Cardi B's, you had the Megan Thee Stallions, you had the City Girls. They was in there talking all that. That was making all this music about, you know what I'm saying, run dudes' pockets and you know, and they got men. They got men. You know, so while these women are out here breaking their back to try to destroy men and run their pockets, break them for everything they got, and dog them out. They out here living hot girl summers and cold girl winters. I don't know. But they are, yeah, you running behind them trying to do what they doing. They got men. Cardi B, if you think for a second the Cardi B ain't home cooking and cleaning for Offset, she cooking and cleaning, and then she going to suck his dick after she finished. That is what Cardi B up in there doing. Facts.
Because and yeah, and that's even after he got caught out with whatever, you know, Diet Black China and the other person, you know, the other one. What is her name? The girl, she said she was pregnant and she wasn't pregnant, but then she is pregnant, and then she gave birth, but then it was Offset and it wasn't.
I'm not sure. You know, these I don't know what it is with these baddies. They are so cause Drake just had a little, I don't know if it was a excursion or something, but I don't know what to call it, where the lady, his lady entertainment for the evening.
I know what
his lady entertainment for the evening, you know, used the hot sauce semen, and now she's suing him. I don't know. See, and that's why pick-me's is needed. You know, so we got to restore order. I don't know what the hell is going on. But, like you just had sex with Drake. You know he took care of you. You know, say then pack up and go home and move on to the next dude. But no, you wanna lock the bag in. You wanna put it was stupid. The fact that this heifer is suing, right? And that's why they mad at us, girl. You have to sit there and be like fucking Inspector Gadget. So it's like, why do you have to do that to get? And it's not even. I don't even know if it's the man they trying to trap or if it's the bag they trying to trap.
Girl, listen. A baby is not going to keep a man. Let's just be honest. Our children get on our last nerve. It's a miracle they're able to keep their mother.
Right.
Baby is not going to keep a man. So that's all about the bag. Period. But they call us pick-me's, but in reality, it's just that, you know, we're a different breed. We're a dying breed. These young women are simply growing up. They're not being raised, and that's a problem. That's a real problem.
If that's the case, then we are looking, or we are standing upon the cusp of the extinction of people of color. Because while we as women walk around here acting like we don't need no man, other women of other races are snatching our men up. Now they're only, because at the end of the day, the black man is the only person that's less valued than a black man is the black woman. Okay, we at the bottom of the Mohicans, but the black man is still getting married at a faster rate than black women. Period. Like, and that's statistics.
Well, and you know what? That like people like me, who is mixed or whatever, that like the problem is like we get racism from everybody. Like black women hate us because supposedly we're taking their men. What I'm like, listen, again, black indigenous, we exist. But at the same time, listen, that's not the reason why my man picked me.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it's not he's not looking at me looking, for my features or whatever. He's looking at me because of the way I treat him. And I can't give him any more kids. The 3 is it. And that's a whole different issue when it comes to healthcare and people of color, that we can just go off on a whole ass tangent. Put it like this, there were difficulties with my delivery and preventable difficulties, and I woke up with no uterus without permission. I wasn't even asked. They just sterilized me.
Now that is the topic of because I'm glad you said that. That is something, and I hope that we are able to do this again. That is something, because that is a big thing. Sterilization, unauthorized sterilization, and that's something that is becoming an epidemic, and I believe that it always has been an epidemic, especially or specifically for women of color, and it's like they're trying to control our numbers, if that makes sense. And I'm sorry that you went through any of that. You didn't deserve any of that, and I hope that those people die screaming. I have a violent nature.
Slow screaming and slow, because look, now I've got, I don't know, my husband laughs and said he's not a high value man. I said, you are a high value man to me. You go to work, you don't stop off anywhere, you go straight home after work, you don't go anywhere, you spend time, you ask me how my day was, and I don't even have to ask. Like one time, my kids are on one a lot of times. I got 2 teenage boys and a 7-year-old with like a whole ass mouth. So, he knows when the kids have been on one. He'll find me asleep on the couch. He'll see his dinner just sitting on the table waiting for him. And you know what he'll do? He'll fix me a plate. He'll rub my feet. He'll ask me how my day was. He doesn't have to do any of that. And that this is the type, and to me that is a high value man. A man that takes care of you, takes care of anything you need, whatever. So, these are the type of men we need to encourage, bring around our children. This is the type of man I would have loved to give a child to.
And I'm glad that you said that, because I don't think that men understand. So when you said the term high value, I immediately thought of Kevin Samuels, who I'm actually a fan of. I'm a fan of Kevin Samuels, because he be saying some real stuff. But I don't think that money necessarily makes a man valuable.
Exactly.
And that is the difference between the way we think and the way you better tell your husband now he knows not to mess up, because women like you don't stay single for long unless you choose to be single.
It's true. And I think what will help is raising our daughters not to be like, I don't need a man, I can do bad by myself, but raising our daughters with a spirit of discernment about who we decide to spend our time with.
Yes.
Because if shit goes sideways, I'm not busting up a dude's car, because that's a waste of time. You already wasted my time. Mm-hmm. I'm not wasting no more time busting up your car, fighting whoever you're with, because I don't give a shit. Right. All this time I'm wasting, I could have just been with someone who loved me.
Mm-hmm.
All this time I wasted in the past, I could have already been with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
You know, marriage-minded men. I'm not gonna say it speak to all of them, but I know quite a few, and what they're looking for is, you know, they're not looking for another mama. They're looking for a woman that knows what she's worth. They're not the type of assholes that are gonna be like, oh, what do you bring to the table? They're gonna be like, you know, what can we create? What type of meal can we create together?
Yes. And that is that unity, and I don't think that a lot of people realize that. Girl, we are out of time. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to do this again on your platform.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Yes, or go live or IG or whatever, however you want to do it. Just
all the way down. Sitting here talking to you, it just feels like I'm sipping wine with the homegirls. Like, you know, this like.
Yes, yes. I am having fun. Look, tell everybody where to find you.
Oh, you can find me on all my socials at Linktree. So that's www.linktr.ee/ it goes down in the PM. And we are premiering come February. I'm about to unveil my new intro. And hey, look, tap in. We've got some great guest segment lined up. You're gonna watch me struggle making tamales and me freaking out making a lobster, and I even had a musical guest recently.
Okay.
I'm telling, oh girl, let me tell you, this lobster situation is out of control. I wanted to make a live lobster more than once. I've tried to make a lobster, right? But then like I'll pick it up, it'll move, and I will make some guttural sound like, oh god, it
was screaming.
Yes. The live one. Then I'm like, okay, I got this. Okay, I'm just gonna take the knife and poke it, and then it'll be done. Girl, I poked it, it moved. I'm like, oh god, it's still moving. So this time I got it. I am so sad.
Well, I cannot wait. Hey man, y'all make sure y'all go and y'all follow. It goes down in the PM, and I'm gonna put all your links and stuff up here, girl. We gotta do this again. And thank you so much.
Thank you. This was such a great vibe.
Yes.
This was such a great vibe. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming. I was nervous. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like I was nervous and stuff, but I had such a blast, and I can't wait to do this again.
I was nervous too. I was like, oh yeah, my husband's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tag you. I was like, no way, get the fuck out of here. You're lying.
Well, hopefully next time we ain't gonna be nervous. We gonna sit up here. We gonna talk about sex, marriage, the marriage bed. We gonna talk about that, how you can keep that exciting, all kinds of stuff, girl.
Oh, if you go live or something, tag me in that. I need to be. I would like to be involved in that. Okay. No, a lot of that's the thing. That's why y'all got it messed up. Okay, I saw this meme where a girl was like, who the fuck cooks cornbread in a frying pan? I was like, first of all, that is a cast iron skillet, and that is the only way to cook cornbread. Hashtag who raised you? But then, you know, I couldn't take it seriously because the same one was posting about not sucking dick. Like, why wouldn't you? Why not? It's enjoyable. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. Now I am celibate, but I have sucked a dick or two.
The memories keep you going. Let the memories keep you going.
Well, I had so much fun, girl. Thank you for coming, and I can't wait to do this again. And thank you everybody for tuning in. We got some more in store for you.
I cannot wait.
Okay.